This is the reframing part 1. I'm going to deal with 2 different questions from Donald here. This is based off my video that I put out yesterday where I was talking about after our live on Exodus. One of the things that stuck out, 2 of the things that stuck out was that when this God gave his Sabbath law, he gave a contradiction within it. In the first statement, this God said that if you were to profane the Sabbath, then you would be put to death. The second, he said that if you worked on the Sabbath, then you would be excommunicated. And then a verse later, in Exodus 31, he says that if you work on the Sabbath, you will be put to death. Now, this is how they try to reframe it, because these things are abhorrent to our culture today, but obviously in their culture at that time frame, these were sabbatical Sabbath laws that you had to follow. He said excommunicated, and death meaning exile, set apart from God. In the community of the day you eat, you shall surely die. Adam, Eve still lived, but were set apart. Okay. So first you have to be able to justify the fact that Adam and Eve ate and they did not die immediately in that day as your God had claimed that they would, which was a contradiction within itself. Now, you have then gone on to Peter, where he says that one day in the Lord is one day to the Lord is as 1,000 years to man. Like, as. It's not saying is. Very different. It's a metaphor, meaning that God is outside of space and time, and the creator of all things must be out of space and time. That's all that is saying in Peter. It is not a reference to Adam and Eve not dying on the day that they ate. Set apart. Then they were later kicked out, excommunicated from the garden. Being excommunicated apart from God, dying and being apart from God is 2 totally different things. In the Jewish, for those people of that day, when they wrote it, to die and be set apart and be apart from God is to cease to exist. But if you are alive and then you are excommunicated from the community, you are still living and have an opportunity to be able to redeem yourself. The 2 are not one and the same, but you have to make it be one and the same in order for you to maintain the Old Testament incompatibility with your New Testament, because they are teaching 2 different things. I understand you want to hold on to this because of your fear of going to hell, but this is not the truth. Remember, you got to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is not negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations. I see you on part 2.